Hello everyone, welcome to another Take a Peek episode, where this time we are taking a peek at Crest, an indie simulation strategy game from Eat, Create, Sleep. So first off, we'll go ahead and look in the options. So what's up with the options in this game? It's pretty straightforward. I mean, the one thing that I really like about the options in this game that I think all games should have is the keyboard settings. This has QWERTY, AZERTY, and Dvorak, right? Most games just assume you have a QWERTY keyboard. So this game actually, you can choose different keyboards, and that's something that really most games should be doing. They really should be. We'll go with simple subtitles, and then we'll turn off the intro. So the tutorial is off. The tutorial is pretty good at teaching you what to do. It does restrict some gameplay for a little while. It absolutely does. But it does it in a good way. So let's actually go and look what the game is. So a new game. I went and turned off the intro here just because I don't find it all that interesting. Truthfully, I don't. So this is your world. This is the world of Crest. Now, it procedurally generates the world every single time, so you'll have a different world every single time. Sometimes you'll have a lot of mountains. Sometimes you'll have a couple mountains. In this case, we don't have much in the way of mountains. But we do have a lake, which you don't get all the time. Kind of weird how it plays together here. The water doesn't quite make it through, but the lake does, and that's just kind of weird looking. But maybe, maybe it's a waterfall. I don't know. Another lake right here, and a little bit of clouds going by. So what is this game, right? Well, how do you play Crest? Well, Crest, like I said, is a god game. So the way that you are interacting is through commandments, and these are all symbolic commandments. So, for example, if I want the young people to do stuff with food, and say maybe produce, so young produce food, I can proclaim the commandment, and then it will, over time, they will see it, they will get to it, and they will think about whether or not they want to do that. We can do all old people producing food as well. All right, so here you go. So now that's a 0. So the old people will go ahead and produce food. Now this is because apparently there are not enough young people for it to matter. So if you look at this, is the age. You can see the average age is old throughout most of it, and getting older, I suppose, is the better way to put it. They're not necessarily old. Old is like much higher up. But you can see it's middle-aged and going up for the average person, right? We'll say also old people produce babies. Now over time, people, your followers, all of humanity, will not necessarily be happy with you. So you can see like this little purple face right here. This means that they have free will. They're gonna go do their own thing, and just forget about the commandments. Who cares about the commandments? We're gonna go do our own thing. And that's what that face is all about. A little bit of rubber banding there. I don't know what's going on. Where are you going? I don't know what this guy's doing. Whatever. Or girl or what. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So, over time, your commandments will end up changing. They will morph and become organic into something that was never something you ever intended in the first place. So, ultimately, you put all these commandments down, right? Oh, is the lion gonna kill somebody? Maybe not. All right. Ultimately, you say old people should produce food. Eventually, it might say old people do what makes you happy, right? Or old people go create war, for example. That the commandments will change and evolve over time, and they will become something that. Can we get young people to produce food now? Nobody wants to produce food. Nobody wants to produce food. That's really bad. with the old commandments being forgotten that are unliked, and the new commandments having priority. Ultimately, my goodness, they are just going crazy on this mountain. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that so far, I suppose. So eventually, this city will get big enough. They will want to go create new cities all on their own. Now, you can tell them to do that as well. Like, you can say that people in the jungle should not the desert. Savannah should migrate to the desert, right? You can say people in the jungle migrate to the desert. Now, in this case, it's actually much, I guess, better is a simple way to put it. It's a much better strategy if you just let the cities evolve organically. You let them go out and grow organically. The people will decide when they want to build a new city. That you really should let them do that, because if you tell them to do it themselves, it's not gonna go super well. Not always. So, see, there we go. We're already building a new city. And so now the two cities will communicate. The two cities will, they'll trade, and they will grow together. And when you only have a couple cities, they will absolutely grow together quickly. But when you only have, like, when you have a lot of cities, you have 4 cities, 5 cities, they'll start wanting to fight each other. They will have different interpretations of the commandments, and they will have different commandments they like, different commandments they don't. And eventually they will start hating each other over time. And it's up to you to help guide them all in such a way that the people do their best to live. Can we do... Where's distribute food? I know you could. There was a distribute button, wasn't there? Yes, distribute food. Alright, so here... Okay, so now we get to see what happens here. So old followers is switching to do what makes you happy. Now, if you want, you could also say old followers and followers about to give birth. Or, you know, lions distribute food, which sounds really weird. You can make some really weird commandments that don't make any sense. Like, lions destroy the gems, right? So what even is this? So this is followers of proximity of a lion destroy gems. Like, that makes 0 sense to do. But that's how they interpret what you were saying. So obviously that's going to go away. It's a -1. We have some +2. And it just goes up as more people like it, and down as more people don't. It's usually whether or not it's applicable. So we have lots of young followers. So right now the young followers thing is applicable. Go ahead and say make babies as well. So that'll go ahead and move up. So young followers doing food and babies. It's fantastic. That's a great way to keep everyone growing. What are you doing? You look fancy. What are you doing? Well, they have a new city, at least. So, I mean, that's cool. So the game continues on like this for quite a while. And to some degree, you really shouldn't do anything. You shouldn't touch much of anything. As long as they're producing food and they're producing babies, you're good to go. There's really not a whole lot else that you should or can do in the game. There's not a lot of options for things to do. So you can see here we have people that are, they like what I say, they kind of like what I say, and then people that just don't like what I'm saying. And that's going to create a divide later. The devout, the mostly religious, and then the anti-religious. It's going to create definitely something of an issue later on. But each individual city you can see has a whole bunch of different stuff. So we'll go ahead and get away from the audio there. So we have production. We can see how much production the city has. Really not a whole lot right now. Wealth, in terms of trading between cities. How much wealth does this city have? Not a whole lot. Metals to go for war stuff, and then other buildings, of course. Age of population. The doctrine city needs, and faith local. We'll get to those in a minute. There's also the expertise. So it's a specialization which gives the city bonuses and often practiced trades and can be altered by focusing on either production or prosperity. So expertise can absolutely change over time, and it's something you want to have to be really, really high. These little dotted lines, these white dotted lines, that is the line that they would like to be at. If there is no white dotted line, it's at the top. That's just maxed out. They want to be maxed out. They want it absolutely. On the other side, though, we have fertility of the followers. So reaches maximum value when a new follower is born. So this place is likely to continue spitting out babies. How much food we have, how much prosperity we have, because that's food and gems in storage, and then, of course, gems to increase prosperity. There can also be wealth and trade. So what's this stuff at the top here? These are all resources and stats about the city. The stuff at the top. So again, the faith, local, we've seen that. You can see the relations between the other cities as well. That they're all happy with the original city, the capital, if you will. They're all happy with that. But we've already seen the faith, local. Now this is stuff, the little red X's, it doesn't matter, right? They don't have old followers, so it's not something that matters. What the? Followers about to give birth produce babies. Well, wouldn't you think so? That would make sense, right? So the things that applies to them is what the young people do, and they really like what I'm saying for the young people to do. There's also the city needs. So the red is where the city objectively needs. They have to have a bare minimum of that, and they don't have that, not for resources. But they have it for everything else, which is great. And then the green is, of course, what they've achieved, and the little gray spot up here is what they crave. Oh my goodness, so many cities. They are growing rapidly. This is fantastic. So they crave a whole lot more stuff, but they already have their needs all taken care of. If you can get all of this taken care of, then they're going to be very happy, and they're going to be willing to do a whole lot more, generally peacefully, but not always. So already this city's unhappy with everyone else, and it's caused a lot of people migrated there. So that might be the cause of it, is that a whole lot of people migrated there. So every once in a while, you'll see those clouds go by the way. You can see it actually does expand the jungle. It'll also expand the savanna out over the desert. And so the environment will change over time. So that is worth mentioning. So the last thing about cities that matter. The doctrine. So right now, this is the united. Together we stand, divided we fall apart. So each city will have one of the 6 different doctrines, which will affect their relations with other cities as well as their cravings and city needs. So the doctrine needs all of these different little full boxes right here. They need to hit all of those. And different doctrines will be hit by different cities. This one's also united. This one's the united. Wow, they're all united. It's working out really well. Yeah. Wow, they're all united. I've never seen that before. That's crazy. We'll go young followers produce medals, please. Boy, that's unpopular. How about old followers produce medals? And young followers produce babies, since we don't have the old baby thing. Okay, young followers produce babies. You know, that's real popular. Fantastic. So again, this will continue to grow over time. And people will continue to do pretty much whatever they want when it falls under the commandments. So, wow, a 6 on food. Holy cow. Well, I mean, you need a lot of food for all these cities. That does make sense. You need a lot of food. And over time, they will do these little farms. These little red arrows. These are farms. And they will do those over time. So don't worry about like over or killing the population of animals too much. You can make animals go extinct, so you have to be careful of that. In fact, are the lions extinct? I think they are. I don't see any lions. Do you guys see any lions? So I don't see any lions. I think they killed all the lions. Which means all that's going to be left is ostriches and antelopes. So that's not all bad, but it does put the ecosystem out of whack. Okay, those followers at war, produce alliances, please. Alright. And alliances produce alliances. So you can see there's a war going on right now between these two cities. They're killing each other. Cities are burning. Mines are burning. It's just a bad time all around. But they're working on killing each other. Now I'm saying, you know what? Guys, try and, you know, form some alliances so we stop these wars from happening. Or even better yet, kill the non-believers, right? Because we want them to listen to me. We don't want them to hate on each other so much. So, by and large, this is the entire game. I have shown you the entire game, more or less. I mean, there's a couple other key commandments you can throw in there. Wow, the desert's completely gone over here. That's fantastic. The desert is gone. That's crazy. Like I said, the environment changes over time. There's not a whole lot more to talk about. Again, there are some different things you can do. So, like, you can do things specifically that followers who are about to die should produce, like, hungry followers. Right? So, if we go ahead and pause this. This says followers who are close to death starve. Right? You can do stuff like that. It gets a little bit darker. If you want to. Now, not everyone's going to be a fan of that. Obviously, the followers who are close to death aren't going to be super happy that I'm telling them to just die. But, you know, the commandment's out there. I can't take it back now. But that's the kind of the different stuff that you can do is just some of that weird stuff. Now, my goodness. Look at how densely populated this is becoming. Honestly, this is the best game I've ever had. This is the best game of Crest I have ever had, which is great because it just came out with the new update. That is the Faith module, which added more of those commandments. So, and of course, you know, faith, right? So, anyways, this game, like I said, there's not a whole lot left to do, you know, and to me, that is a big criticism of this game. That, yes, it can be fun at times. You have to play it at, like, double speed or triple speed because playing it at the regular speed is just too slow. It is just way too slow to play it at the regular speed. You have to play it with the whole world sped up. But all in all, this game, I wish there were more to do, right? I wish we could help create mountains over time, like plant the seed of a mountain and watch the mountain grow, or expand the terrain a little bit so that there's a little bit more land for people to live on, or even less land to live on. You know, what if I could segment off the lands? Like, say, for example, I just cut the whole island in half so that the original city and the city right below it were on two different islands. What if I did that? I would like to see naval trade. I'd love to see boats for all these coastal cities. You know, let's take this city and trade it with this city out here, right? You know, I would love to see that, and it's not something that that I don't think is currently in the works, but I think would add a whole lot more to the game, because right now, there's just not a lot to do. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm watching the whole thing play out, and that's great. I'm happy they're doing their own little thing, but there's just not a lot else to do, and that does make this game great for, I guess, I don't even want to say the casual gamer. It's more, it makes the game great for those who don't want a game that's too intense. I guess if you want a game that's not too intense, this game is definitely for you. This city just died because reasons. Probably everyone is too old, but they can send people to recolonize it. Oh boy, here comes another war. Here we go. Oh boy, yep. There's, oh my goodness, that's a war. That is a massive war. Holy crap-a-doodle. Well, everybody's about to die. Let's speed things up to 3 and see what happens. See what happens after the entire aftermath. My goodness, the entire continent's at war. That's crazy. And obviously, I'm not paying attention to what the commandments are right now, so it could be, the game could be screwed right now. I have no idea, but that was an impressive war. I don't think anyone, I mean, the population's dropped, but I don't think anyone actually won the war necessarily. The desert's coming back in the south, but again, everything about this game is fine and fun, but at the same time, it's not super interesting. Because again, there's just not a lot to do. This must be captured. That, or I don't know what this is. My goodness. Because obviously other cities don't have it. Oh man, lots of cities are dying though. Everyone's getting old, no one's producing babies. So we're probably just going to go ahead and just die here is probably what's going to happen. That or the war did a whole lot more than I thought it did. But, oh, we got more. Oh, I bet those are the alliances. I bet you those are the alliances. So anyways, the score for the game. Honestly, I want to give it a 6 out of 10. You sit here, and it's fun to play for a little while, but it just, there's nothing to do. You know, I'm a gamer that really wants something to do all the time, and I don't find that is the case. And yes, I'm actually just letting their civilizations die. I'm not trying to avert them right now. But that's just, when I played it the first several times, when I played all the way through, there's just nothing to do. On top of that, there's no goal to play to. So if we go ahead and quit back to menu, there's no goal to play through. You can see there's no like achievements, there's no high score list to see like, you know, what's the best that you have personally done compared to all of your other runs. Like there's no scores or anything. It's literally, you know, can you like how far can you personally think that you can make it? And aside from that, like this game is built on self-motivation to play it and not external motivation. And to me, that just doesn't go very well. That doesn't work very well. I want something to play to feel like I am achieving goals, to feel like I am getting a rewarding experience. And this game doesn't reward you. The game does not reward you for doing well at all. So for that reason, and for the fact that there just really isn't a whole lot to do, I'm going to go ahead and give this game a 6 out of 10. I feel like the God game genre hasn't quite figured it out yet. There are a couple God games that are really good, but the majority of them I feel like they just haven't figured it out yet. And that does make me sad, because I enjoy the concept of a God game. I want a good God game to exist, and I just don't think this is it. Does everyone have their own little... That's awesome. So, that's Crest. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Best thing to do is to share the video on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you to Amphit for being a Patreon supporter, and I'll see you guys all next time with another Take a Peek episode where we'll take a look at something else. If you guys have Crest, if you've played it, let me know what you think of it in the comments. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I've missed something. You know, but all in all, I'm not impressed. 6 out of 10. So, again, thanks for watching, and DFTBA.